Is it safe to travel to Manila right now? It's a question that comes up over and over again, especially from travelers who have heard the headlines, but haven't yet seen the city for themselves. Manila is a place of striking contrasts. Colonial architecture standing shoulder to shoulder with modern shopping malls, jeepneys packed with commuters roaring past glassy high-rise towers, and lively street markets coexisting with gated enclaves that feel a world apart. In all of this complexity, there is real beauty and energy, but also challenges that every traveler should approach with eyes open. I'm Stephen with the Travel Safety Network. For more than 25 years, I worked around the globe in industrial safety and risk management, helping organizations and individuals prepare for the kinds of environments that demand situational awareness, respect, and adaptability. Today, I've turned that focus to travel safety because wherever you go, knowledge and preparation are your greatest tools for having the kind of trip you'll remember for the right reasons. In this video, we're going to explore what it really means to travel safely in Manila. We'll talk about crime, about political and social realities, about water and food safety, and about neighborhoods where extra caution is warranted. I'll share insights about local transportation, cultural considerations, and what you need to know about getting around this sprawling, densely populated city. And stay with me until the end, because I'll share something about Manila that even seasoned travelers often overlook, something that might inspire you to look past the headlines and see the city in a more human light. First, a bit of perspective. Manila is the capital of the Philippines, a megacity of more than 13 million people when you include the greater Metro Manila area. It's the country's economic engine and cultural hub, a place where the legacies of Spanish colonization, American occupation, and Filipino resilience collide in vivid, sometimes contradictory ways. For visitors, this means a place that can feel warm and welcoming, but also overwhelming, especially if you haven't been to Southeast Asia before. One of the most common concerns people have about Manila is crime. It's no secret that the city has struggled with poverty and inequality for decades, and those realities show up in the form of opportunistic crime. Petty theft is the most common issue tourists face. Pickpocketing in crowded areas, bag snatching by motorcycle riders, and scams that target visitors unfamiliar with local norms. The good news is that violent crime against foreigners is relatively rare, and with basic precautions, most travelers have safe and enjoyable visits. It's wise to pay attention to where you are, especially after dark. Neighborhoods like Quiapo, Tondo, and parts of Pasay have higher rates of crime, and even locals will often advise avoiding certain alleys and side streets if you're not familiar with the area. That said, many parts of Manila, especially the business districts of Makati, Bonifacio Global City, and Ortigas, are well patrolled and feel considerably safer, even at night. These are the areas where most international hotels, embassies, and large shopping centers are located. Another consideration is transportation. Manila's traffic is legendary, and not in a good way. Congestion is intense, travel times are unpredictable, and road conditions can vary block by block. If you're taking taxis, use only reputable companies or book through ride-hailing apps like Grab. These services are widely used by locals and generally considered safer and more reliable than hailing a cab off the street. Be prepared for long delays during rush hours and allow extra time to get to and from the airport. Jeepneys, the colorful shared minibuses that have become an icon of Manila's streets, are a cultural experience, but not necessarily the most secure or comfortable mode of transportation for newcomers. They can be crowded, hot, and occasionally targeted by pickpockets. If you do want to ride one, consider doing so with a local guide or companion who knows the routes and can help you navigate. Health and hygiene are other important topics. The tap water in Manila is generally not considered safe to drink, even in hotels and restaurants. Bottled water is widely available and inexpensive, and it's smart to use it for brushing your teeth as well. In restaurants, ask if the ice is made from purified water, especially in smaller establishments. Food safety standards can vary, so it's wise to choose busy restaurants with a good reputation. In hotels and larger malls, food preparation standards tend to be much higher, and the risk of foodborne illness is lower. If you're planning to explore the street food scene, and many travelers do because the flavors are unforgettable, pay attention to freshness, cleanliness, and turnover. Vendors with a steady stream of local customers are usually the safest bets. Socially and culturally, the Philippines is known for warmth and hospitality. English is widely spoken, and locals are often eager to help visitors. But there are also social dynamics to be aware of. While the country is known for tolerance, LGBTQ+ travelers should still exercise discretion in more conservative neighborhoods. Racially, travelers of African, South Asian, or Middle Eastern descent sometimes report extra scrutiny in certain areas or at immigration checkpoints, although most visitors experience little more than curiosity. Politically, the Philippines has seen considerable change over the past decade, with shifts in leadership and policy that have sometimes been controversial. Protests do occur, especially around government buildings, but they are usually announced in advance and well monitored by police. If you encounter a demonstration, it's best to move away and avoid taking photos. Immigration procedures for the Philippines are straightforward for most travelers, but you should be prepared for detailed questioning if you're arriving on a one-way ticket or don't have proof of onward travel. Customs officials have the authority to search luggage and electronic devices, though in practice this is infrequent. Still, it's wise to have your hotel bookings and return flight information easily accessible. The travel advisories from the U.S. State Department, Global Affairs Canada, the UK Foreign Office, and Australia's Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade all emphasize the same themes. Exercise increased caution due to crime and occasional civil unrest. Avoid displaying valuables and be aware of your surroundings, particularly after dark. They also note that certain regions outside Manila, like parts of Mindanao, are subject to higher travel warnings due to conflict and terrorism. But in Manila itself, the primary risks are petty crime and traffic-related issues rather than violent incidents. One thing many travelers don't realize is that some of the most memorable parts of Manila are tucked just a little way off the main tourist routes. Places like Intramuros, the old Spanish-walled city, feel worlds apart from the chaos of EDSA traffic. Wandering its cobblestone streets, you'll see 16th-century churches, quiet courtyards, and a slower rhythm that's hard to imagine exists just a few blocks away. If you're planning to spend time in Manila, a little preparation goes a long way. Choose your accommodations thoughtfully. Staying in reputable hotels in Makati or Bonifacio Global City gives you a safer base from which to explore. Plan your transportation ahead of time and avoid carrying more cash than you need. Learn a few basic Filipino greetings. A little effort is always appreciated. And above all, remember that while Manila can feel overwhelming, it's also a place of extraordinary warmth and resilience. So is it safe to travel to Manila? For most visitors, the answer is yes, if you come prepared and stay aware. The city is no more dangerous than many other large capitals around the world, and in some respects it's safer. The vast majority of travelers have positive experiences, returning home with memories of kind encounters, rich culture, and unforgettable meals. But Manila is not a place where you can switch off your awareness. It asks you to be alert, to understand its rhythms, and to respect its complexities. And here's the surprise I promised you. Many travelers assume Manila is just a stopover on the way to the beaches and islands. But if you give the city a little time and curiosity, you'll find it has its own rewards. Hidden art galleries, live music venues, heritage buildings tucked between skyscrapers, and a food culture that blends Spanish, Chinese, American, and indigenous influences into something entirely Filipino. I'm Stephen with the Travel Safety Network. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with anyone thinking about a trip to Manila. And stay tuned for my upcoming videos, where I'll help you explore more destinations with the clarity and confidence you deserve. Until next time, stay curious, stay prepared, and remember, safety is your travel superpower.